Good morning, GTS retail partners, and welcome to our Wednesday morning edition of the Retailer to Publisher webinar series. My name is Scott Bohr. I'm your category manager for gaming accessories for gaming specialty products is the official title. That means I handle role-playing games, miniature games, and gaming accessories like dice and some of the other supplemental materials you use to accentuate your gaming experience. If you're not familiar with Zoom, if you haven't joined us before, your controls for the process are pretty simple. If you hover your mouse over the screen in the middle, you will see that a bar pops up at the bottom that gives you some options. The one that you want to pay particular attention to is the chat button. If you click on the chat button, a little window will open on the right-hand side of your screen that gives you access to the Zoom chat. And in there, you can type your message. We don't do a vocal just to make sure that presentations aren't interrupted and our presenters can go ahead with their presentation. And down there at the bottom of the chat window, you'll see you have the option to send that message either to all panelists, which are Cosmo and myself, or you can send to all panelists and attendees. And in that case, everyone on the call will be able to read that message. So however you want to do that, feel free. Excuse me, just a second. I just need a drink real quick. Okay, so without further ado, I do want to kick this over to Cosmo, hand him the virtual microphone so that we can learn all this great stuff about the Pathfinder 2nd edition Bestiary Battle Cards, as well as the spell cards, and anything else he's willing to share with us about the upcoming future of both Pathfinder and Starfinder. Very exciting stuff. So without further ado, here is Cosmo Eisele from Paizo Publishing.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. It's good to see a nice big turnout here, and I see some names in this attendees list that I recognize. So hello. Once again, my name is Cosmo Eisele. I'm with Paizo Publishing, and I'm here to talk to you about a few of our current and upcoming cards products. First of all, I'd like to talk to you about the Bestiary Battle Cards. This guy. Now, this just was just released on the release date was last Wednesday of February, and this is it is a hefty mamma jamma. So, some of you probably have these heavy little boxes in your stores, and I kind of want to talk to you about what exactly is this thing and why do people want it. So let me start by throwing up my little presentation here. And I just need to pull this up. All right. So Bestiary Battle Cards. As you can see, $59.99. It is, it's got a substantial price tag, and that is, as soon as you pick up this box, this thing is heavy, and it feels like it's something substantial. What you get inside this box are these cards that each card has a creature from the bestiary. So let me cut back here and show you a little something. So you've all been in your games where you've got your bestiary and your GM's like, okay, so you guys are fighting one of these, really awkward because they're trying to show you the picture without showing the thing. Instead, they're like, you're fighting this. Blah. You kind of hang that right on the top of your GM screen, and there it is. Now, the cool part is what's facing the players is our wonderful art. But what's facing the GM is you've got all the stats you need right there to play. And having used these in my game, it's much easier to just kind of have this up and going, and everything I need is just right here facing me, and it just improves the experience all around. Furthermore, I chose the Hellhound. As you see, we've got our Hellhound in here, but there's 2 listings for Hellhounds in the bestiary. There's the Hellhound and the Nessian Warhound version. Well, bestiary comes with 1 for each. Nearly every monster in the bestiary book is in this box. You open it up and you see just a ton of awesome monster cards. Let's kick back over to our presentation here. Oh. Except I need to actually share that before I kick back over. There we go. So the bestiary battle, as I said, the bestiary battle cards are a fantastic value for your GMs, and they're just really cool. Furthermore, as you see here in the adult green dragon, it does have, you know, some small things that will throw to the bestiary for some of the monsters. So it's not a complete replacement, but it's an absolutely amazing accessory to go with it. Alrighty. And so, moving on, I do want to talk about the spell cards. Now, the Bestiary Battle Cards just came out in February, and those should be in your stores now, and people are just now getting to know them. But coming up in June, we have the Pathfinder spell cards. Now, there's going to be the Arcane spell deck, the Divine spell deck, the Focus, Occult, and Primal. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Arcane spell deck first. Now the spell cards are a standard playing card size. They're a standard size, and the Arcane spell deck, that is a double deck box. So you see the MSRP is $29.99, and this has every single arcane spell in the core rulebook, over 200 cards, and everything. You know, you can just go through this box, and they're organized face up in the box, so you can file right on through them. And let's go ahead and take a look at the cards. Each one has the same back, but then the cards themselves have everything you need to use that spell. It's got all the rules for that spell right there for your players. So your players can, when they're preparing spells in the morning, they go through their spell book, which is their collection of cards, and choose the ones that they memorize, and then as they cast them, they put them back in the book. As you can see here with the Mage Hand, this also, of course, includes all of the heightened versions of the spells. So everything you need to cast that spell. So we looked at Arcane. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Divine. So as you can see, the Divine spell deck, this is for clerics. On the front of that box, you see there's our cleric iconic. And so when you're, once again, when your cleric is preparing their spells, they go through their spell book and pull out the spells that they want, and then once they cast them, they can just put it back. And once again, it's got everything that they need, all the information to cast its spells right there on the back of the card. And so here we have the focus cards. Now you might be wondering, and I'm assuming that there might be somebody in the audience who has not yet read the core rule book cover to cover, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. But for those people who aren't necessarily as up to date on the rules of Pathfinder Second Edition yet, you might be wondering, like, what is this divine arcane focus? What are all of these things? These are spell schools. Each spellcasting class has access to certain spell schools, and that kind of determines what type and which exact spells are available to that class. So what we have here are the Pathfinder spell cards focus spell deck. So the focus spell deck, this is the spell school that is a more physical and more it tends to be self-improvement or improvement type spells. Now on the cover you'll see our iconics. That's the iconic paladin, the iconic bard, the iconic sorcerer, and the iconic monk, and that represents the classes that have the option of casting spells from the focus spell school. So any player of one of those classes is probably going to want to pick up this spell deck. And now you see that this is a single card deck, and its MSRP is $24.99, and that's the same with the divine. This one has over 150 cards, and once again, but they are the same size. The back of the cards are all the same. They've got Lem, our iconic bard, and then the front of the cards show us the rules to cast. What you see here, I don't know if you can see my mouse pointer or not through the shared screen, but you see underneath the title we have a list of traits. Now traits are an aspect of the second edition rules, which just are flags that this spell class ability is all throughout the game, and these are just flags that add to this, that describe this particular thing, and it works, and this is how it dials into other aspects of the rule set. So we've looked at 3 out of the 5. Let's go ahead and take a look at the occult deck. Now you'll see here that's our good friend Lam again, and this kind of reveals a little bit about how the bard class in Pathfinder Second Edition actually works. And the bards, most bards use the cast from the occult school, the occult spell school. These are spells that have to do with manipulations of reality, as well as hiding things and revealing things, and it's a little more of a mental type spell school. Once again, you'll see here that this is a double card deck, and this one therefore has the $29.99 MSRP. And let's go ahead and take a look at the backs of this. This one also has Lem, but it's got a different color, so it's visually distinct from the other one. And as you know, this goes all the way up to 8th and 9th level spells. Every spell that's in the book is represented by these cards. And finally, the Primal spell deck. The Primal spell school is primarily the domain of our druids. That's our iconic druid Linny, and these are nature focused and animal and more spiritually focused spells. And of course, since she's on the front, Linny is, of course, on the back with our brand new for 2nd edition art from Wayne Reynolds, who designed all of our iconics. And this one, I went ahead and grabbed a level 8 spell. As you can see, it goes all the way up. And even with a level 8 spell, you know, all the information you need on how to cast it is right there on the back of the card. And just touching on it briefly, Pathfinder Society is, I believe that we're actually over 90,000 players. We've got scenarios and modules that are sanctioned for in-store play. We've got venture captains, venture lieutenants, and venture agents all over the world. I'm hoping and assuming that a lot of you are already involved in Pathfinder Society and have Pathfinder Society going in your store. Pathfinder Society, Starfinder Society, Pathfinder Adventure Card Guild. But if you're not, you can get involved at paizo.com/Pathfinder Society. And if you register your store in our retail locator at paizo.com/retailers, you get all of these these scenarios for Pathfinder, Starfinder, and Adventure Card Game. You get the PDF organized play scenarios as free downloads for your store. If you have any questions, you can contact our campaign coordinator, Tanya Wooldridge. Once again, my name is Cosmo Eisele. Here's how you can get a hold of me. My boss Pierce is watching quietly in the wings, just judging my every move right now. And if you want to get a hold of him and tell him how bad I am, you can do so right here. So that was, and quick presentation. I mostly wanted to just open this up for and find out what card products are working in your stores, and if you have any questions on how these works.
Ashton's there with the question that I knew would be coming. So the Bestiary Battle cards, those are a 4-inch by 6-inch card. And we actually have an Ultra Pro soft sleeve that will fit those cards. It's a 4x6 side. And the code I will just go ahead and type in here so that you can get those in. Ultra Pro also makes, for customers who might be interested in putting these in a binder as their adventure unfolds, they may have a binder that has the card sleeve or the cards for the different creatures. These are also excellent upsales for retailers to accessorize your accessories. The card sleeves and binder pages, there's a 4x6 binder page that Ultra Pro also makes. And I don't have the code right here in front of me, but I will get that and add it to there. So there's great opportunities to sell you the packs of the standard sleeves, and these Bestiary Battle cards has more than 450 cards in it. That's a lot of packs of sleeves to go through if you want to sleeve that. So
to make it a little bit visual, these are the cards that come in the box. That is a lot of cards, and the box, they fit nicely in the box. The divider is actually removable, and if they get sleeved, I think that there is some extra room, so they might fit in the box sleeved, or that might be a good time to upsell a binder. Excuse me while I wedge these things back in here.
And I did just add the code in there for the 3-pocket pages if people want to have binder pages available as well. That's probably not something where you're going to get somebody who's putting all 400 cards or 500 cards into a binder, but they may need a couple of pages for the next encounter that they're running, where they have the creatures all laid out. They just whip it out of their binder and put it up on the rack or on the screen, like Cosmo suggested.
Yeah, and really, this type of product, these cards, if you look at the box, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. It's monsters on a card and has the stats. That, if you just look at the outside of the box, that does communicate. But if you have these, if you have one open in your store and you have some of these out, and a person could just like pick it up and look at it and see that art, see the wealth of information and the designed, laid out information that we have, and that's when they get it. That is that type of, where they can actually see the cards. That is the best way to really, once a GM or a player sees it, they're like, oh, that's really cool. And I guarantee that that's what you'll hear if you get one of these things open and just show the card itself to a customer. They just get, oh yeah, it clicks.
Yeah, and the bestiary battle cards, obviously geared more towards a DM or a GM, and then you've got the Arcane and the Occult, divine spell cards that are really geared more towards the player base. And again, those are something that a wizard or a sorcerer can put into their binder, have the cards all laid out, and then as they use them, they just flip them over and put them back in the binder, so that they've got their next day's worth of spells all set up and ready to go.
Yeah, and we will have physical samples of the spell decks at in our booth at Gamma, and we will be there. And if that's why I don't have physical copies of the spell decks right now, is that they're on their way to Gamma right now.
Great. Let's see. And then I would assume that there's plans for additional releases of spell cards and bestiary animal cards or creature cards, perhaps in smaller amounts as new books come out or as new product releases introduce new creatures.
Yeah, we're still exploring. The future, we definitely will be continuing with the cards. The cards, they make the play experience a lot richer. It's kind of an obvious product. It's something that we had people asking for all throughout first edition. So this is definitely something that we're going to continue doing. Now, I know that we'll probably have a big battle chest type big box of battle cards for Bestiary 2, which we will have a Bestiary 2. And between the big Bestiary books, we will be exploring options for how to release monster cards for monsters that appear in smaller books, like monsters that appear in Adventure Paths, for example. We're still kind of tossing around like how that works best and what's the coolest product we could use what's the coolest product we can make that would use these things. But it's definitely, yeah, NPC box. That's very, very, very likely. And yeah, and especially for it's a good point with the NPC box. It's, once again, to have that physical picture for an NPC who keeps cropping up and you get to know their face. It's a really powerful and immersive experience for your game.
Yeah, the visual really helps to lock it in for the players as well. When you turn a corner and you see this guy and they're like, oh, we've seen that guy before. We know that guy.
Exactly.
So yeah, excellent opportunity for players to really immerse themselves in your gameplay. Any other questions that the retailers have? Once again, you can go ahead and hover over the video window there with your mouse. The chat button will come up. You click on that, gives you the chat window box, and then you can type in any questions there. I don't see any additional questions. So, Cosmo, is there anything else that you want to share with us about future releases or something about on the Starfinder side of things?
Well, we are going to be. Honestly, like, I just kind of want to plug a bit. We're going to be at Gamma next week, and we're going to be doing our first major Gamma presentation. Our first major presentation of the year is, of course, our Gamma presentation, and we'll be talking about all of the future of Paizo in one of our seminars at Gamma. So check that out if you're there, and if you can't make it, check it on the streams after the fact.
Great. Okay. Well, I don't see any new questions. I think you covered all the bases for the card products. These really are excellent opportunities for you to, as a retailer, to invest in line, add more opportunity for sale to your customers, and really give them a chance to really enhance their experience. And especially if they're doing that in store, it really kind of solidifies their relationship with you as a retailer, as a place that provides them an opportunity to play great games and have a lot of fun with their friends. And it's a great opportunity all around. And we really want to thank Cosmo and Pierce for coming on, for taking the time out of their day to be here. Also to our retail friends, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. We really appreciate it. We know it's an investment of time, and we want to honor that by just giving as much back to you as possible. So thank you very much for your time. Cosmo, I'll let you sign off as well.
Thank you, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. And feel free to reach out to me, distributor.orders@paizo.com, cosmo@paizo.com. I'm here to help. So just feel free to reach out anytime you need to.
Great. And this will go up on YouTube, and I'll make sure that all those email addresses are also on the YouTube channel link so that anybody can reach out to you from there as well. So thank you once again. Have a great day and sell lots of stuff. So
yeah,
take care.
Thanks.